Good afternoon. You're watching Discussions with Dexter. Today's video will be discussing sexism in the film industry. Movies are incredibly important in my life, and I've also heard they're especially popular with other people as well. For the last 100 plus years that film has been a part of our culture, there's been gender differences, and not just differences like different roles, but a lack of appreciation, a lack of roles, and stereotyping, exploitation ever since the early days of Hollywood. Just to give you a bit of a perspective, it took until 2010 for a female director to win an Oscar for directing, with only 4 women total since the Academy's conception have ever been nominated. But it's not just directors and actresses facing these issues, but women in general in the film industry from all career paths. I have a few different sources and statistics to discuss, and most of them are pretty mind-blowing. To start it all off, I discovered a journal titled Inequality in 900 Popular Films, where Dr. Smith and several others look at the inequalities and lack of representation in popular films today, with disparities not only in gender, but race, the LGBT community, and individuals with disabilities. In the top 100 films in 2016, only 34 of those 100 depicted a female lead or a co-female lead. Of those 34, only 3 were from underrepresented racial and ethnic groups. 900 most popular films of 2016 had only 31.4% of speaking characters as females, which means viewers will hear 2.18 male characters for every female they hear on screen. There's also an age gap in gender as well. In the top grossing films of 2016, acting adults 40 years or older, only 25% of them were female to the 74.4% of those that were male. With younger actors, the ratio of male to female is much more balanced, so there's definitely an age gap there. In 2016, with the top 100 grossing films, only 4 of those directors were female. To further discuss the industry's lack of representation, as well as stereotyping, we can turn to another study by Dr. Smith. They looked at speaking characters in G-rated films, specifically when a character was doing something job-related. A total of 333 speaking characters in their study are shown in job-related light, and of these working characters, 268 are males, and only 65 are female. That means only 19.5% of those on-speaking female characters in G-rated films were shown working. What does that do to a young girl who is watching the film, to see an individual of her own gender being shown as a traditional, non-working woman? From a piece called Feminist Film Theory, the author discusses the characterization of women and how it must change in order to promote gender equality. I have a quote here that says, "Their characterization must have heroism and human dignity, expressed in fields besides homemaking, loving a man, and bearing children. Women must be shown as active, not passive. Strong women should not constantly face ridicule and unhappy endings, and women should be shown in adventures which do not just revolve around sexual attraction for one man or working with other women without cattiness." Some argue that the differences in gender are due to women choosing specific roles and men choosing others. In a study called Unmanageable Inequalities, Sexism in the Film Industry, it says that nearly all the workers in our study saw themselves as choosing jobs for creative reasons. However, it may be that sexist attitudes and technical roles are more traditional and overt, and possibly class-inflected. Looking at the film industry through the lens of social justice, it's clear that there's a lot of work to do here. Social justice fights for equality by reducing discrimination wherever it may take place. And without equality represented on film, it makes the fight for what's right all the more difficult. For starters, creating film with a variety of perspectives allows society to see people better and see the struggles that they must go through. Maybe it reduces people's biases towards women and any other group, and any other misrepresented people in the industry. I hope this video provided you with more knowledge on sexism in the film industry and helps you better understand the differences and hardships that women have to go through in Hollywood. This has been Discussions with Dexter. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.